Forward to checking in with Nikki-Dee. Hurricane Dorian is one of the top stories that's been going on all week long. We have an extensive team weather coverage today, and Nikki-Dee is live in Deltaville in the Middle Peninsula. Nikki-Dee, it's great to see you. It looks pretty hectic outside.
Yeah, it's still a beautiful view, don't get me wrong, but it is definitely choppy outside, and the wind is just pouring down. And I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it's slanted because we are dealing with such high wind gusts. Like you said, we're out in Deltaville, which is the Middle Peninsula, and if you're familiar with the area, it's right on Stingray Point. I've got some sweet friends that live out here. They allowed us to come out, and I'm going to step aside so you actually can see. This is Chesapeake behind me, and all morning long, Sanan and I have been out here since around 3 a.m. and it has really just ramped up in intensity, not only in the way of whitecapping with all of these waves, but also with our winds and the rain. It started out a little breezy. Then all of a sudden you had some rain, then you had the wind. This is the outlying areas of Hurricane Dorian. Now, Dorian did make landfall earlier on this morning, just as forecasted over near Morehead City, and now it's continuing to move its way up. It is weakening right now, sitting as a Category 1 storm. Winds are pushing it northeast right at 14 miles per hour. So I know it seems like we're getting a lot here, but then you head over into Richmond or even Charlottesville, we're not seeing a thing, just some breezy winds. So this is really limited to the areas to our northern neck as well as Middle Peninsula. Like we talked about earlier this week, there would be a very sharp cutoff, and it would be a circular cutoff at that, and that's exactly what it is. Anytime you have a tropical system, it's moving in that circular motion. You've got outer bands, and that's what we are dealing with right here. Now, this storm has definitely brought a punch. We've been talking about it for a long time now, and it's finally here. After today, it's pushing off to sea, and we're not going to have to talk about Hurricane Dorian anymore, except for all the cleanup efforts. But you can tell these gusts are really coming in. I have my anemometer with me, and I was just getting some wind gusts earlier on, and it was coming in right around 35 miles per hour. And that's not even the highest that we've had. We've had them gusting all the way into the 40s. The Tri-Cities, for instance, very similar setup with those gusty conditions. Now, as the system continues to move its way eastward, we will notice the winds going down, which is some really great news. And then, believe it or not, by this evening, you're going to have clear skies. We're actually going to see major improvements taking place. And tomorrow, temperatures are going to be back in the 80s, accompanied with a lot of sunshine. But until then, we got to get through today. It is going to be very breezy in the northern neck, Middle Peninsula. Those gusts, something to watch out for. We're already getting reports of power outages, trees down, as well as quite a few limbs. So be very conscientious. Be careful. A lot of schools are closed in this particular area, and I think that's a pretty good idea to be doing, because you sure don't want school buses out with this wind. I mean, it's practically knocking me over, and some people have asked, well, why don't you have an umbrella? Oh, Sanan got one earlier. He was being a gentleman. He was holding it. And, y'all, it just takes you with it because the winds are just so strong. Even if it has the wind vents, you just can't do that. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Virginia This Morning starts right now.